Join us in just a few moments' time as we head to the home of British motorsport. Round number 6 of UK&I Monday Night Skippys up next at Silverstone. It's Monday night, it's RaceSpot TV, and we are here at Silverstone for round number 6 of UK&I Monday Night Skippys. Rachel Whiteford and Connery Maddock bringing you the action tonight, and Connery, 15 laps of historic Silverstone circuit here. We're on the international layout, and it's going to be a great race. And to borrow a term from the gaming world, looks like the Tom Ward pub stomp may well be over.
It may well be, as checkered flag is out on qualifying right now, so this is going to be your last lap for your drivers if they're on a lap right now. First one to come across the line will be Stuart McFadden. Will he improve his time is the question, and no, he will not is the answer to it. But as you say, Tom Ward only mired down into that top 5. He's not going to improve his lap time. He's in the pits, so that means he's going to start there or worse, depending on how the others do out on track.
Certainly is, and without further ado, to qualifying. Gary Tall on the pole with a smashing time of a 1 minute 32.153, 2.5 tenths faster than the field. Mark Turner in second place with Gareth Dorning in third, fantastic time from him. Mick Watson in fourth with Tom Ward in fifth. Andrew S. Leach in sixth place with Clark Williams in seventh, Stuart Adcock eighth, John Sully, and Stuart McFadden. Rest of those results on your screen as Connery. Some names repeatedly popping up this season, some really serious contenders who are new to the series. The likes, of course, John Sully, Stuart McFadden, Andrew Leach has moved himself forwards, Gareth Dorning is a new name, mixing amongst some of the names we've seen come and go from this top 10 of this field. It's great to see some new names really pushing into this top 10 as a regular thing.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to look at the top 3 in qualifying we have right now. Gary Tall, Mark Turner, Gareth Dorning. And 2 of those 3 drivers we don't usually see inside the top 5, yet let alone inside the top 3. Those drivers I'm talking about, of course, Gary Tall and Gareth Dorning. They're usually in bottom end of the top 10, maybe just outside the top 10, but some fantastic qualifying times for those guys put them on the first couple of spots on the grid.
Certainly are at this rate, and well, we're looking forward to seeing exactly what this achieves for us, as the results will be heading to the grid to see what they can make of those qualifying positions in a few seconds' time. Gary Tall and Mark Turner, your front row for tonight. Is the domination of Tom Ward over for a week? We'll see, because the man who's won the first 5 rounds is now in 5th place on the grid. And that's a stark change from someone who's basically almost become, I want to say the Michael Schumacher of UK&I Skippys. He's taken 2 championships in a row, looking at a 3rd, and this is the first time we've seen him qualify this low.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, that's promising for those drivers down the field who perhaps thought they couldn't beat Tom Ward previously, and now he's just shown that he is human, qualifying in that 5th place. But also a good qualifier as well. Andrew S. Leach, haven't seen him this far up in quite a while. Stuart Adcock has to be hoping for better for the 8th place, though. But John Sully, fantastic qualifying time. Stuart McFadden in 10th place, fantastic qualifying as well. Well, if the Scotsman can climb those positions, maybe we'd be looking at his 2nd win after his 1st win in his 2nd race last season.
Certainly could be, and there's the grid, of course, lining up in what is a very curved start-finish line here. Get ready for an interesting start to this race. 15 laps of what will happen. We have no idea. We're looking forward to a fantastic one here. This could be a completely different race to what we're used to seeing this season, and we are looking forward to seeing how that one will play out here. The teams all lined up and ready to roll here. We should see a fantastic race tonight. Gary Tall on that pole position in the Epicuri Banana Machine. Probably the first pole for that team I've seen in recent memory. Lights will go on the Santander Bridge. And at the home of British Motorsports, the green flag won't fly yet. I'm being a little preemptive, but we'll be going green in just a few seconds' time now, as the lights are now on in the gantry once again. The engine's rev and the green flag will fly. We're racing here at Silverstone, 15 laps. And the field get themselves organised pretty early on. It's a good early lead for Tall. Turner side by side there with Dorning, who makes an early charge here. Up the inside for the first corner into Cops. And can he get it through? He doesn't quite make it, but it's still single file behind him. Tom Ward trying to take 4th, but not looking like he'll make it. Mick Watson going to hold him off for now. Ward making an early push, probably a qualifying error maybe here. Connery didn't seem quite as good as he could have done, but they'll turn now into the international layout. Tom Ward takes advantage of a slip or two by 2 of those guys, trying to force his way inside, couldn't find an opening, just tries to jive between your field there. Looking further back, it's 2 wide racing action down your pack. Big field tonight, 45 cars, and so far everyone's made it through the first corner.
Yeah, we see 3 wide going into the air at the end of the international straight between John Sully, Stuart McFadden and Stuart Adcock. Stuart Adcock is that car in the middle. Stuart McFadden in that red one just behind, and he's going to settle himself down the middle. Well, John Sully is still there. He's going to have a little bit of a look coming through Bridge Corner right now, coming down to Priory and Brooklands. Remember, this is the old layout here at Silverstone. As they again go 3 wide through that particular section. Almost John Sully, Steve Heffer, Jacek Fairbanks, Brian Loynes absolutely scrapping it out just outside the top 10.
Let's not forget a fantastic podium last week out for Mr. Steve Hefford. I was just forgotten his name for a second. Steve Hefford did a fantastic result last week, a podium position. Patrick Fairbanks, though, has a line on the inside. Will probably get a run here on Hefford. Up ahead of them, Sully's escaped a little bit from this little gaggle of cars as Stuart Adcock moves himself forwards a little bit as well. Andrew Leach, Tom Ward going to make a spot there on Gareth Dorning, move him up to 3rd place. But he's already dropped back from Turner and Tall, who seem to be playing a good long strategic game here, Connery. They're not racing each other, they're trying to get some gap on Tom Ward whilst he's mired in traffic. We'll see if that gap can open up. Of course, mistakes really allowed Ward to make those 2 spots up to 3rd. Can he go forwards?
Yeah, exactly. And those 2 are starting to break away a little bit, as you mentioned. But Tom Ward still is feeling the tail end of that draft. But again, Tom Ward has to be has to have Gareth Dorning to be concerned about at the moment. As there's almost a little bit of a dive bomb from the 310 behind. That was Mick Watson having a little bit of an optimistic move down the inside, but it did not end up working as they come to Bridge Corner.
Stuart McFadden in the 53 car there, battling with Clark Williams as they come through the final section here through Luffield. And they're going to come down to that section here, but looking like Adcock just up ahead of them in the 52 car. He's getting involved in this one. He's just been passed actually by Williams in the 98 car. The red machine back there, that's Stuart McFadden in the 53. Some interesting battling down towards the bottom of your top 10 here. Steve Hefford going after Patrick Fairbanks. 72 car chasing down the 109 who just got past him, Connery. So Fairbanks moving forwards on one of last week's podium sitters. As a little bit further back, we'll see some good action. Bill Fraser getting involved. Robert Plumley also in a good fight. He's chasing after there Hefford and Fairbanks. Actually keep a look on Hefford because Hefford's right under the rear wing of Patrick Fairbanks. Can he take advantage? He goes to the outside here. Could be a minute advantage as all sight contact. They'll kind of hold themselves a little bit more cautiously, but it could be a slowdown there for Fairbanks, taking a lot of grass as he cuts the nose off Hefford.
Yeah, just behind them, actually, there was a half spinner, pretty much. A little bit of contact as well, just on the outside of Cop's corner. That was with the 11 of Matthew Woollett and the 27 of Jake Tucker.
Sorry, Connery, the lead.
Into a bit of a confusion.
The lead, sorry, as Tom Ward dives up the inside there of Mark Turner and will slice his way through for second place there as he comes up towards Bridge. Tom Ward's just snuck there into second place. And it was a bit of a dive at the inside there of the corner we just caught as the action was definitely intensifying here as there's plenty of attackers now coming from behind. One ahead of him, Gary Tall. Can he be caught and can he hold off Tom Ward? There's a gaggle of cars behind Ward, so the gap isn't really opening up right now. Ward just taking strategic advantage of slowing traffic around him to make positions here. Not as though he's got overriding speed perhaps at this stage. His last lap by. We'll see as they cross the line this time. Tom Ward with a time of a 1:32.146 as he looks to the inside of Tall with a draft. 1:32.7 for Tall, slower lap. As Tom Ward will take that position there behind them. Dawning slips up and goes sideways, loses the spot there to Mick Watson, sorry, sideways, loses the spot to Gareth Dawning. As through will come Mick Watson and, as we mentioned, the 1:39. Ward in the lead. Can he hold on to this? As all contact there, round will go. The car of Gareth Dawning, and we've got more contact. I'm going to replay for you of what happened there. As it turned into the international layout, Connery, slight contact from behind, as I think that was the 310 of Watson just dove in a little too hard, put a wheel on the grass. Contact turns around Dawning, and you'll see that Dawning nowhere to go for some of the other traffic, and I think that's Clark Williams goes ploughing into him. Adcock just misses that crash, as does Leach. Dawning upside down, mistakes were made.
Yeah, exactly, and that was just the slightest of context that must have pushed some of the suspension in that left rear tyre that caused Gareth Dawning to spin. Because he didn't spin immediately after the contact, it was just a fraction of a second afterwards, so something must have broken on that suspension, and then that just, that just went on from there, and now he's upside down on his roof.
Certainly is, and well, he'll be back to the pits to have a long, hard look at himself here as Gary Tull actually has a run here on Tom Ward. Can he do exactly what the Friction Racing driver did to him last time by? Might not be enough before Cop's corner and won't have the run, but he's staying with him here. So Tall racing Tom Ward for the lead here. Tom Ward precariously ahead of the gap stretched out after that crash. Now looking at about 2.5 seconds back to Mick Watson and Mark Turner. Stuart Adcock up into 5th from 8th on the grid. Another mover, McFadden up from 10th to 7th. Looking throughout our field as well. Who else have we got that's moving place? He's going down the field. Clark Williams in 7th. Sorry, in 11th from 7th place. As a car goes off the track and we're going to have big problems as we do. Oh my gosh. Bill Fraser absolutely blindsided in a very reminiscent wreck from the Viet Supercars of Phillip Island. As I believe that car was the number 38 machine belonging, I think, Connery. He did have help.
He had help from Jake Tucker in number 27. Brian Loynes, so it wasn't Brian Loynes' fault at all. That was Jake Tucker running into the back of his gearbox, spinning him across the apex of the corner. And, you could say that he should have locked the brakes up and prevented it from going back on track there. So, mistake from both drivers.
Oh, there's a crash as well happened just in front of them, actually, and the carnage, people trying to miss that crash as more cars scattered across the apex there. A number of other machines involved, including one of the banana machines as well. I think the 53 or one of the 3 cars involved there too. Things not going well here in the early moments at Silverstone on lap number 5 of 15 as 2 banana cars wrapped around each other. Because you call that a banana split as everyone tries to rejoin and get back going again. Traffic has definitely intensified here, and this is going to be causing some problems. Steve Hefford up the inside of Plumley. Looking forward to it, a 72 car. Going to try and move into 10th place. He's fighting here with Keith Sharp. And I believe Jake Tucker also involved in this one as well. So 147 of Plumley involved here too. Getting pretty angsty around the bottom of your top 10, Connery.
Yeah, it really is as these guys head their way through the Beckett session. There's a car off ahead. That was Steve Hefford, number 72. That's going to have to be a slowdown penalty. I think he did cut the apex of the corner, but he cut the apex of that corner as well. So he's going to drop a couple of positions here. There's still going to be side by side between Robert Plumley and Jake Tucker, though, ahead of them. This is coming down into Abbey. Robert Plumley on the inside, and that's going to be Jake Tucker on the outside. There's Stuart Mathers behind this power as well, as they're still going to take it on a 2x2 coming into bridge.
They are indeed. Looking back to your lead, though, Gary Tall, Tom Ward. It's neck and neck here as they're going to be trying to get down through Luffield. Can Tall have a run this time by and make a move on Tom Ward? Ward pushing kind of wide. Good run by Tall, but not looking like it was enough of a run out of Luffield corner there. They're going to go up to the final corner here and onto the start-finish straight. The gap just widens a little bit, Connery. It's not enough to make anything happen. We'll look a bit further back to that battle we were talking about with Plumley as Hefford back involved here. He's trying to get involved there with, I believe, that car next to him is 46. Now Stuart Mathers, he's just dropped behind him.
Yeah, he has, and he might come under threat from Clark Williams because he has a little bit of the overspeed here coming on the entries of Cops Corner, but no, he's just going to settle in behind, and so is the car behind of Craig Hobson as well. They're absolutely nose to tail coming through Cops, and here comes Clark Williams maybe. Now his next opportunity is coming down into this Maggots and Beckett section now, and since we're not running the full layout, Beckett's is a lot tighter than you perhaps expect it to be if you're running the full layout as they head round that corner right now. Still absolutely nose to tail, nothing to separate these drivers. You have to remember that the three ahead of them are battling as well. Jake Tucker, Robert Plumley and Stuart Mathers.
Looking up here, actually, it's just ahead of Patrick Fairbanks, Solly, Leach and McFadden there. McFadden and Leach there side by side as they're going to head up towards Bridge now. And getting pretty intense up here. This is for 6th and 7th place. Right now it's McFadden still ahead of Leach, with behind them John Sully waiting patiently in the wings here. Down in the 8th spot as try and just find a weakness in each other, Connery. They're looking at fighting here. I mean, Silverstone built on a World War II vintage airfield. There's some serious dogfighting going on throughout this pack.
Is that the only pun we're going to get this broadcast?
I'm going to try for more. I mean, I already made a banana split comment, but we're going to go for some more.
Well, of course we are, as we're still watching this battle between Stuart McFadden, Andres Leach and John Sully as they head to complete a lap 7. John Sully has a good opportunity maybe here, but Andres Leach also has a good opportunity on Stuart McFadden. He's going to have to take it around the outside of Cops, surely not, but can he make it stick? Look at Stuart McFadden squirming on the inside line, and that is Andres Leach around the outside of Cops corner, and that is a very impressive move indeed, and John Sully may be smelling blood off Stuart McFadden as well as he gets through.
Well, we saw the wobble there by McFadden, Connery. There's a bit of another wobble there by Leach, actually. But if you notice, there's no nose cone on McFadden's car. So lost a bit of downforce. Plus, he was held tight there by Andrew Leach. Andrew Leach noticing the weakness on that enemy car. And he held him tight where he knew he'd have to have that downforce. He didn't have any more. Took advantage. Beautiful tactical move there by Andrew Leach. Making a great pass. Oh, look at that. McFadden up the inside there of Fairbanks. Bit of contact there as Fairbanks should have died by rights, had that one. Bit of a dive by McFadden, but they've all made it through fairly safely. Andrew Leach pushing up forwards here. Behind him, John Sully looking for a position. Racing certainly has gotten good here.
Yeah, it really, really has. As I've just been watching Mick Watson in a 310 car and Stuart Adcock just battle it out over the past lap here. Mick Watson has in fact managed to get past Stuart Adcock during the course of that lap, but Stuart Adcock gets a good run coming out of left field corner. He may be able to take the inside line coming down into Cops, but is he going to be forced around the outside? That's going to be yes. Mick Watson taking the defensive line all the way out of left field, all the way into Cops corner now, forcing Stuart Adcock to hang it around the outside, but Adcock no, quite almost doing the move there. Still, Mark Turner down the inside, split them down the middle. Mark Turner 2 positions, 1 corner.
Impressive move there by the 13 car of Mark Turner, splitting his teammate and Stuart Adcock with a heroic dive there. Beautiful racing here. We call these dogfights, Connery, and they really are. This is wheel-to-wheel stuff. Fantastic racing here for the podium spot here. Right now it's going to be Mark Turner in that position, but Adcock has something to say about it as he'll be up the inside. to come down towards the hairpin, and Adcock gets that spot back into third place. As the two teammates behind him, going to be tricky to hold off here, because teammates, when they're working together, always provide a very difficult sort of situation to handle for a solo driver like Adcock, because they can use tactics like that against him.
Yep, they could. There's more battling, and there's contact between John Sully, Patrick Fairbanks, and that's a huge wreck in the gravel there, involving Stuart McFadden as well. Perhaps a little bit of an innocent bystander in that one, but replay on the screen for you right now. John Sully and Patrick Fairbanks getting into a little bit of a tangle on the apex of the corner, and then collecting Stuart McFadden. That is a huge wreck. But
McFadden started this one almost, Connery, it seems, because he actually wobbles into the car of Sully to start this, wobbles into Sully. Sully then taps Fairbanks, and then that collects McFadden. So essentially started by McFadden there, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see it at first, but now looking at the replay, it looks like there may have been a little bit of contact that may have contributed to that incident, we could say, but I'm not too sure about that right now, as Patrick Fairbanks is in fact going to be retiring the car after that incident. And now that moves, well, let's see, we've got Mark Turner in 5th, Andres Leach in 6th, Heath Sharp 7th, Jake Tucker will be promoted to 8th place, Robert Plumley will be promoted to 9th place. Everyone else, well, will be promoted up at least one spot because of that incident. But here comes the Mick Watson, the 310 car, down the inside at Abbey Ott, Stuart Adcock. These guys have been fighting tooth and nail for the past couple of laps, and Stuart Adcock may be able to make it back around the outside on the latter part of Abbey, defending that position for the entry into Bridge Corner. And Mark Turner is just watching here, he's watching these guys fighting, and then just hoping they get into some sort of incident, or there's some sort of opportunity that he can take.
They certainly are, of course, in the 310 Esports Racing Team. A new entry, of course, into this series, but two veteran drivers from the UK&I Skippys here, Connery. A new partnership, perhaps, between those two, and it's something interesting to see from two drivers who are week in, week out at the front of the grid in these races. So very nice to see those guys getting together. Should make the dynamic quite interesting as they go after one of the other veterans here, Adcock. As Gary Torr will have a look back at himself and Tom Ward. Last time by a 1:32.5 for Torr, a 1:32.553 for Tom Ward, and it was a 5:51 for Torr, so marginally faster last time by. The draft, of course, contributing to that, but 2 1,000s between them in a lap. As we keep an eye here on P3 still, Stuart Adcock there trying to hold off the 310 of Watson, as Watson does get his nose up the inside, but advantage goes back to Adcock, who's a bit of a veteran at this stuff. He knows exactly how to defend, Connery, and these two can't quite take advantage, although up the inside, the teammate of Watson, that's the 13 of Turner. These guys have both changed their numbers since the beginning of a new team, which is throwing me off somewhat in this, but they are getting involved with each other more than their victim Adcock.
Yeah, they kind of are, and I don't think any of these three drivers right now are thinking about the race when they have been long gone. Tom Ward is around about 8 seconds ahead of your third place man right now in Adcock, so they're not concerned about the race win at all. Of course, it'd be nice if the top two got into instant, and well, nice if you're Stuart Adcock, Mark Turner, or Mick Watson, but well, these guys are just fighting for that final podium place right now, as something's going on with the 76 there, Rachel.
Oh, we were looking at Greg Hobson, but that's him dropping back, of course, with the damage. He just got passed by Stuart Mathers, and here comes Steve Hefford, so we won't be actually regarding this as a race, but actually he is racing now the car of Hefford, so we've got two drivers with very cold feet here who are racing without the nose cones on their Skip Barber race cars, and trying to hold position here somewhere in the top 15 if they'd like to try and stay there. I think that's their objective, but back to the battle for third, as right now the car ahead is still Adcock, and he is defending admirably against the 310 Esports Racing Team cars of Watson and Turner. Look towards where Maggots will actually technically be, but we are turning right rather than left to head through into the international section here, down, cutting off the long run. As behind them, I think that was Watson just dropped a wheel, got on the grass there, Connery, had to slow down. And I really want to know about Gary Torr. Is he saving something here? Is he just waiting in line to pounce?
Well, last time by he was around, well, it's almost exactly a tenth faster than Tom Ward. Perhaps helped a little bit by that draft, but I think he's playing it conservative right now until the dying moments of this race to try and make an opportunity. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. He's not dropped the draft at all. He's kept to the rear gear, to the gearbox of that car of Tom Ward, and well, he's probably going to make his move on one of the final laps here, which we'll be getting to in well, not too much time now, as I was just looking at the car dropping down my timing screens.
There's a quick look back at Adcock and Turner. Turner has a run here. We'll see if he can do anything out the final corner, but yeah, of course, the gap we see between second and third, of course, caused by the incident between a few cars that put the front in the early running. So it's kind of the draft was broken by artificial means, an incident. So this second group were actually very similar on speed. In fact, looking at their times now, they're still fairly similar to your leaders. The leaders, of course, broken away there, and Tall and Ward in a class of their own at the moment, fighting for this one. But at the same time, Adcock valiantly trying to hold on to a podium spot here for points he desperately needs. And the alliance behind him, the newly forged alliance, Turner and Watson, pushing very hard to try and make this a success for themselves. It's a good running in the early going for them. 4th and 5th as they currently sit. A fantastic position for that. But not looking like they've got quite enough to take it to Adcock in these later laps. They looked racier early on. They almost seem to have settled in.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's just the it's just the experience of Stuart Adcock coming in right now. His knowledge of defense, his knowledge of attack. As we look at the number 16 car being involved, Simon Maltby being involved in a fight with Robert Plumley and Clark Williams right there, and that was Robert Plumley defending his position. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel.
Certainly is, of course, tried to defend it, but Plumley's just managed to. Well, Plumley was ahead technically. Maltby having a good go at him, as behind Clark Williams trying to rally back after an incident. And Maltby doing a very good job here today. He's up in 10th place, which is one of his better results recently. Not been mired by quite as much disaster, although he is missing a front wing, as are both those other cars with him. So everyone a little bit down on downforce here, which is probably a product of these curbs here at Silverstone being quite aggressive. We all remember the Formula 1 race where everyone cut their tyres down on Silverstone's very sharp curbs. Looks like Skippy's wings don't like them either. And it seems like a good number of our cars are flying without wings, to quote a song, which I should behave and not quote. But anyway, Stuart Adcock up in 3rd place. Turner and Watson behind him. Both of them close, but not looking close enough. We're going to be coming onto lap 15 this time by. So we'll have a quick look back at your leaders. And Gary Tor starting to get very close here to Tom Ward. Closer than we've seen him in a while. Could he be turning up the wick here and having a go to try and get past Tom Ward? And if he does, can he hold him off? This could be our first new win of this season, Connery, and I think this will be explosive for Gary Toll.
It could well be. This will be the white flag next time by, as they just come through the final couple of corners here, just the penultimate corner here. Next corner is going to be left field, and then it's going to be the white flag displayed at the starter's stand. Then it's one more lap to go towards the end of this race, and who's going to come out on top, Tom Ward or Gary Toll? This will be the deciding lap.
Certainly will be, and Gary Toll going to make a push here. Doesn't look like he will be close enough to take advantage of Tom Ward with the draft. You'll have to do it somewhere else on the lap, and it can be done, Connery. Tom Ward looking very strong out of Luffield. Not a location where I think they could make a move happen. As keep our eyes as well on Turner and Watson behind Adcock, and they're charged towards 3rd place. Gary Toll, can he make it happen here? Fighting with Tom Ward. We are on the final lap here as we head into the international section, and Toll is still in sight. Can he get past him? It looks impossible for anyone to draft past on the run from Luffield to the actual finish line. So if he can get past him before then, Connery, he should be able to hold this. But we see a big move by Gary Toll to try and take advantage. He gets a very wide entry here. Can he carry some speed up towards Bridge? This could be his chance. Gary Toll hasn't quite got enough of a run as he would like. He's going to have a look as they go underneath Bridge. He's going to need a very, very good entrance. Perhaps a lunge here. Something a little dramatic from Gary Toll. Can he make it stick? He's going in shallow this time. He's going in wide every other time. He brushes wide there. On the exit, not enough. Too little too late. As he's going to take another look. trying to get close, desperately trying to close in on Tom Ward from behind. Cannot make it happen. As it's going to be, as they come out the final corner, Tom Ward takes victory for the 6th time this season. Gary Tall, though, with a fantastic second place, just meters behind your winner. And Stu Adcock will hold on to take 3rd place, Connery.
Yes, he will. And I just want to go back to that move that Gary Toll attempted during Priory, and that's just one of those places where I think you have to go all out. You have to commit to that move. There's no point in being so tentative and then just look for the move and then back out. You just got to go for it, especially on the last lap. And well, I think there's a chance gone of begging there for Gary Toll. Just sling one down the inside, get the car stopped on the apex, but he did not do that. And the rest of your finishers are just coming across the line now. Well, photo finish between the 99 and the 72, though. That was Philip Lake and Steve Hefford coming across the line. That was very, very close indeed.
Steve Hefford, of course, dropping down the spots after losing his nose cone on that car. So a fantastic race overall. Cracking racing throughout our field. Some great battling. Probably one of the better races we've seen this season so far, Connery. And as the final drivers will come out of that final corner, we'll go straight to your finishing order. Tom Ward takes victory here at Silverstone in a bit of a nail-biter at the end there, making that 6 for 6 this season. Gary Tall with a fantastic 2nd place, and Stu Adcock holds on for 3rd. Mick Watson, 4th, Andrew S. Leach in 5th. Mark Turner will come home in the 6th spot with Keith Sharp in 7th. Jake Tucker, Robert Plumley, and Clark Williams, your top 10. Behind them, Maltby holds on for 11th place with Mathers, Hobson, Hefford, Lake in 15th with Adcock, Tim, John Sully, Brian Loynes, Nick Singley, and Scott Malcolm, your top 20. Well, Connery, it's been a cracking race today. Actually, one of our better we've had this season. The guys obviously back here on English soil, this close to St George's Day. UK&I Monday Night Skippy is certainly having a bit of a festival.
Yep, they really are. And it was a great race. Apart from that incident about a quarter of the way through that spoiled what was going to be a top 5 or 6 fight for the podium positions. And, well, we ended up with a dogfight for first position. And Tom Ward, as he seemingly always does, comes out on top.
He certainly did. Can anybody beat Tom Ward this season? That is going to be our big question for the remaining 6 rounds of this season in 2017. Can Tom Ward be beaten? Will this be 3 for 3? Every race that passes, it's looking ever more likely. But could someone beat him just on principle? We'll have to wait to another week until we find out. I've been Rachel Whiteford. I've been joined by Connery Maddock. We're going to leave you tonight, so join us same time next week.